Radio on the set. This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, Byron.
It's hump day. What's going on, Jim?
Not too much. I woke up this morning and I chose violence. So
what? You chose what?
I chose violence.
Why was that?
Every morning you wake up and you choose violence or you choose peace. I chose violence this morning.
I chose running. I hit the ground running because I ain't stopped yet. I've been going all day. I ran 3 miles today in 102-degree weather around the track.
I got up and ran. I did with my elliptical and running on the treadmill. Probably about 3.5 miles.
Okay.
Then I do my lifting. You know, you don't get these guns by just sitting.
Well, I will stand up and show you that I'm losing weight in my waistline, so I'm going to get new pants.
Yeah. You just wanted to get some new pants. That's all you wanted to do.
Oh.
Excuse.
Well, that's good that you're working out. You look good.
I always look good. Got my head nice and looked. It's a little shiny. I gotta maybe put a little.
Do you put spit on? The old people used to say you spit shine your head.
No, I don't spit shine. So, let's talk about the news.
What's up? What's going on?
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
He was not at practice today. They named Sam Darnold the second quarterback.
Yeah.
And obviously Brock Purdy will be number one.
That's
well, here's no problem with it. Everybody's criticizing Trey Lance. Trey Lance didn't ask to be drafted number 3.
No, he didn't. No, I was just talking about the scouting department. You draft players based off how you evaluate them.
Exactly.
And what they have shown you, but it was a question mark with that draft, with that pick in the first place.
Yeah. And they traded, I think, 3 draft picks to get up there to get him.
Right.
But you can look around and see, and also welcome to the Zodiac viewers, but you can also see with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was a guy that was drafted high, and he had obviously helped him get to the Super Bowl, and they won it, but he didn't win the Super Bowl for him.
No, he had some injuries, and of course he didn't win that Super Bowl, but he was on the team.
Yeah. And that's the thing I'm saying. Well, Trey Lance is in a difficult situation.
Yeah.
And he probably should have stayed in college one more year.
I think so too. I think he needed another year of college, and then it would have been fine. But sometimes guys want to go ahead and get that opportunity and try to make that money while they can. So
yeah,
I can see that.
I'm not sure. I think he came out as a sophomore, a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, he was a redshirt sophomore.
The reason I say that is because there is a documentary on Netflix about Johnny Manziel.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Manziel came out as a sophomore,
right?
As a sophomore, and it didn't pan out well. There were other reasons, obviously, that he didn't study, he didn't take the game as serious,
right?
Should have. And sometimes that happens. There's been, and out of busts, the quarterback position, there have been more busts than any other position.
Absolutely, especially when they go first round. If they don't, that's why you see Aaron Rodgers and some other guys who didn't quite play their first and second year in the league. And
I don't think Aaron Rodgers played for 5 years.
Yeah, 3. I was going to say at least 4 years, I think.
Yeah, Jordan Love didn't play for 3 years. Good morning, Rick. Good morning. Good evening, Rick.
How you doing, Rick? What's up, Rick?
Yeah. Rick keeps Jack from bothering me on our show on Sunday. So I appreciate that, Rick. But that's the thing you got to look at. Jordan Love is having a lot of success, but he did also play behind Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers played behind who? Brett Favre.
Absolutely.
So having a Hall of Fame type quarterback helps you. Who did Trey Lance play? Jimmy G. And that's
he really didn't have too many people to play behind. They kind of stuck him in the fire, once he got there. So
yeah, they did.
But my point is, I think that's a good point. Ain't every quarterback is not quite ready to play in the National Football League their rookie year. We got Anthony Richardson probably playing, be starting this year. They throwing him in the fire. Yeah.
And that's difficult for him. And yes, Jack did get tested this week, Rick. And then can you believe, Rick? They muted me.
You must have been saying some stuff that wasn't.
I never say anything, but they muted me. I couldn't believe it. There was a big protest. People were protesting outside.
Who protested? Ain't nobody called protesting.
Yeah, they were protesting that free Jim Jeffcoat. They had signs on it.
That reminds me, I'm going to bring some handcuffs over here.
But each player is different. Because you look at Kayvon Thibodeau, they're talking about Hutchinson from Detroit and what kind of year he had. Yeah, Thibodeau's going to be pretty darn good.
I think so. I was telling Jack and Matt last week when I was on with them that one of the things I saw him do that I was impressed with what he did in the offseason. He had a football camp in LA, went back to his community hometown. And I think that's a sign of needing to do some things and being responsible. And then they're going to make a more impact this year on the football field. I think he's going to be ready. I think
he's going to be okay. And the reason I bring this up is because now there's always something. People don't understand how hard it is to transition from college to the pros.
It's hard.
And I joke about it. College teams couldn't beat NFL because you're playing against grown men. So Maxie Smith, their number one pick for the Cowboys, he's a defensive tackle, and that is a hard position to play on.
That is very hard. And that's why he getting a lot of reps right now, saying that they playing him almost every quarter.
Yeah, and he's getting hit from different directions, and you have to adjust. Georgia, the big guy they had that was 340 pounds last year, they drafted, and as a top 5 pick, he struggled. Yeah. Now the one they got is a different animal. This Jalen Carter, but
Jalen tough. Jalen, he got it. He just kind of messed up before the draft, but other than that, he's probably the best player in the draft.
Yeah, but majority of players, especially when you play up front, come in and they're going to struggle a little bit that first year. I'll never forget. I had 2.5 sacks my rookie year. I had 11.5 my second year.
What made the difference?
Understanding the speed of the game and understanding how to play the game at a pro level. There's a difference.
That's good. That's what people need to hear. They don't quite understand. The speed of the game is so different.
Oh, it's like you going from a dirt track to NASCAR. It is fast because you're playing against guys that have been playing 10, 12, 13 years.
And the decision making out there is just like so.
Yeah, you don't have it. Everything happens in a split second.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're playing with grown men who try to take care of their families.
So I will tell you a funny story. My daughter texted me this afternoon, and my grandson went to practice today. She said the coach said they look different, but I had my grandson over the weekend. The youngest one turned 8. So I had them out there running routes and stuff, and I was coaching them and teaching them the little this and little that. And she said, I don't know what happened to Landon and them, but they look different in practice. But I had them out there in that 100-degree weather, and I made them do some things that they should have been doing. And I'm just going to start coaching them. So it's good to see that. And kind of like Joey Porter. Joey Porter, he played. He know the game from his daddy. Most guys that have daddy that played, they better equipped to go out there and play football.
Yeah, and that is true. That is true because
like your son Jackson. I mean, he was around you, so that's a good
that's
example.
all he's ever known.
Yeah,
I mean, and things like that. But you're exactly right, and having that, you see things different than the normal coach would because you've experienced those things.
Yeah.
And that's the thing,
And that's why you can't have everybody trying to coach your kids early on, because
exactly
if you get bad habits early, it's gonna be hard to break them.
The one thing that I regret not doing was, and I always told him about it, but I should have showed him, was tackling, because they were teaching him bad tackling habits. And he tore both pecs, and he's got titanium rod. He's still playing, but he had to get them both repaired. But that's the biggest thing I saw, is you got to know how to tackle properly if you're a defensive player.
So what would be your insight on tackling?
First of all, never lead with the crown of the helmet. Keep your head up and come through the tackle. Never reach out. Drive through it with your feet and your body, as opposed to reaching and trying to grab them. And because that's where you tear muscles.
What about the upfield shoulder for its target? Your target when you
yes, you always go for that upfield shoulder, and you drive through that upfield shoulder and put your head across target. And if if you got a guy that's outrunning you, you always try to clip the heels. And try to swipe at their heels and clip them. And
see what you just gave people is worth $1 million, Jim. A lot of people don't realize that that's some key factors right there.
Yeah, it is. It really is, because that's the majority of injuries to defensive player is poor fundamentals on tackling.
Yep.
I watch a lot of Canadian football because obviously my son is up there, and I watch how they tackle, and that drives me up the wall.
Yeah. That's why they miss so many tackles up there.
Yeah. Even in the NFL, because they don't practice it properly anymore. Yeah. You don't have to kill each other. You just got to use the proper technique and form.
It's all technique. It's all technique. Once you get the technique down, it'll come like chewing bubble gum.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you see the best players are usually physically gifted, and they can get away with some, but the majority of players can't get away with poor fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I was telling my grandsons, I said, every football, whether it's little league, junior high, high school, college, NFL, have 2 points. 2 points. So you catching the point of the footballs. And then once you close your eyes and you can feel that ball, I can feel a ball right now, and I don't have it. It's not nothing in my hand, but I know the weight of it. I know what it feels like, and I know it's 2 points on it. So once I tell my mind point, guess what? I'm gonna pick up the point. Now, regardless of who's throwing the ball, how the ball is coming to me, I'm picking up the point. And guess what? Now you got your focus. Yeah. And once you get your focus, you should have a reason to drop a ball. It just
I would agree with that.
Yeah, so it take a little bit of programming, a little bit of reps, and a little bit of just a little bit of focus.
You're right. You're right. Quick question for you: both your grandchildren run track, correct?
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time in I think, I want to say 10 years that the USA has a champion. She's from Dallas, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yep.
Won the 100 meters, and Noah, I can't remember his last name, but he won the 100 meters in the men's. So we swept the 100 meters on both sides.
Right.
So
yeah, I saw that, and
that's pretty impressive. And the reason I say that, because a lot of football is a lot like track because of your get-offs. The only thing it is you have different directions. Obviously, you go and you don't go straight ahead.
Right.
Change directions, but there's speed and the get-offs are. And that's very true, Rick. That's very true. You got to wrap up, and you got to. We used to call it the crab clause because we grab. As once we tackle them, we crab them to make sure they couldn't get away. Some people, to be honest with you, Rick, like Barry Sanders, shoot, you just hope you got him down on the ground. You just
sometimes you can't touch
was around.
He got so many great reflexes. It's hard to tackle him.
Yeah, some
and
people
he low down to the ground too.
Yeah, the majority of people you could get on the ground, but then there was some people who were just natural. Prime example was Otis Anderson. He was like just a big guy, and he had natural running abilities.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith was hard to tackle.
Yeah. Tony Dorsett was the best I've ever seen because he was so
smooth. He was a smooth.
Yeah,
smooth.
But I liked him, and Joe Morris was just he wanted to fight you every play.
Man, I was downfield blocking. Joe ran up my butt. I said, damn, Joe, can you see? What the hell? I'm blocking for you down here. All he did turn around laughing. Byron. I said, just ran up my butt,
But
it was sometimes you can say some funny things out there on that football field.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. But back to Trey Lance. I hope he does. Maybe he needs to go to XFL. Maybe he needs to go to USFL or something to get his confidence because he'll never have any confidence now.
Well, that's one of the things about football. Sometimes if you ain't ready and then you have to go through this hardship and you have to go through this learning curve, you might have to go somewhere else because he have failed the test thus far.
Yes.
Now, one of the good examples that I see right now is Geno Smith. Geno Smith was drafted first.
Sam Darnold. This is Sam Darnold's third team.
Yeah. And Baker Mayfield was the first player taken.
Baker Mayfield. And now he's getting the opportunity, and we're going to get to him a little bit later. But now he's getting the opportunity to start in Tampa, and we'll see what direction that. He's got one of the best receivers that's never talked about is Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a heck of a receiver.
They had a kid down there this weekend, had an awesome week. His name is Trey Palmer. And he had a highlight tape catch. But so he gonna have some receivers to throw the ball to.
Yeah. Question for you, talking about receivers. And you said this last year. I had an argument on Sunday. They say CeeDee Lamb is not a number one receiver. I disagree.
Man, CeeDee Lamb is legit. I'm telling you.
Yes.
He's legit. He just ain't been in the right offense. Yes. If he was in that Viking offense, a couple of other offenses, the Cincinnati offense, he'd be tearing it up. But I just think they utilized him wrong the first 2 years. But now I think they started using him right last year. He running crossing patterns. They gave him different sets and different motion. And in the first 2 years, he was at the same position. And they dictated on where he was gonna go. So I just think now they opening it up, and I think with Mike McCarthy gonna see, and Mike McCarthy is good.
And Rick, Adrian Peterson was a special one. He was one of those rare ones with the size and the speed. But do you think that they'll use him more like Devontae Adams?
I think they're gonna have to, and just to open up the offense.
But here's the thing: they got a guy that can spread the off defenses because he runs so and Cooks.
Oh yeah, Brandon Cooks can go.
A really good third receiver in Gallup.
Yeah.
And now it's Jalen Tolbert is really coming on. They got 4 receivers that are going to be matchup problems.
Jalen Tolbert, he looked like a whole different player. I think he must have worked real hard in the offseason this year.
Well,
which shows that he's doing. So they got 4 good receivers.
And I was just curious about that. I think CeeDee Lamb is a top receiver in the league now. He wasn't before, but he's proven that he can.
I told you he was a couple of years ago. I just think they didn't use him right, and they didn't call it the plays that fit his talent skill set.
I agree. And you can't have him in the same position the whole game.
He took that defense can cover that all day. You got to give credit to the defense too.
Yeah. And it's easy to find him if you know where he's at.
Absolutely.
You try to get matchups and try to get him on somebody maybe third corner or the slot guy.
See, this is the deal with CeeDee Lamb. You got to give him options on his pass route.
Yeah.
That's what Jefferson have. He have options, and when you have options, that means you ain't got to run at full speed. You just run it off the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Take what the defense give you. And that's what Kirk Cousins them and Jefferson do. They take it off as well as Jamar Chase. I mean, he runs option routes.
Yeah. And the next thing, I was watching the Giants game against Carolina. I know Carolina right now is struggling, but they do have a good defense. And the Hyatt kid is going to be pretty good. I don't know until we get him into a game and he gets hit by the top players. And I'm not saying that is a negative. We don't know. But I'll tell you what, Waller can play.
But one of the things I can tell you now, if Jalen Hyatt keep playing the way he's playing, he going to get his confidence up. And let me tell you something. Once a player gets his confidence, ain't no telling where he going to land.
I think he'll mature a little later in the season.
I think right now he's in the top 2 or 3 receivers that came out of the draft, and I figured that last year. I figured that coming out of the draft this year. I think Jalen Hyatt was one of those stolen steals. He was a steal.
Oh man,
I'm telling you,
because you got that kid at Seattle who just broke his wrist. He's really good.
He's good, but he ain't too much better than Hyatt.
Was it Jordan Addison from that's at Minnesota is pretty good.
And Zane Flowers with the Vikings.
Yeah, Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers is with Baltimore, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he was Baltimore. Yeah, we were Baltimore, I think.
So he's pretty good.
No, he was the Vikings. I thought he was the Vikings.
No, Addison's with the Vikings.
Well, Addison, that's right, Addison. Yeah, from USC.
Yeah, and Flowers is with the Ravens.
And Johnson is with the Chargers from TCU.
Yeah. You haven't heard a lot about him.
He been kind of so quiet. I think they got some good receivers over there. I just think they're taking their time with him.
Yeah. But I got to give it. I watched it last week, and he does some nice things. But the guy that's going to help him the most is obviously Waller, because he's still, you can't take away a guy that's 6'7", 6'6", and he runs really well.
Oh yeah, plus what I love about the Giants, what they're doing with him, they're moving him around, and they playing both tight ends too. They got tight end, they got different receiver sets, which opening up the offense. And what's going to be really good is they're going to get tested with the Jets this week. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, because Jets with Quentin Williams and that defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably play a little bit there.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to play Saquon in the preseason.
No, they don't need to play Saquon. It's just let him sit over there and get ready for them Cowboys.
That's what they're doing with Tony Pollard. Excuse me.
Yeah, Tony Pollard. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing the
same. Know who looked good is Deuce. Deuce looked pretty good.
He does look good, but he's not playing against the number one guys.
I understand that, but what I like about him is his running instincts, and he's hard. He's kind of hard to hit. He
because you can't find him.
But
he does do. But I like the other kid better, Rico Dow. But
Rico Dow is not bad. But what I'm saying is, at least they got some different changeup with the talent, with the skill sets.
See, everybody puts him to Sproul, but Sproul had exceptional speed. Deuce doesn't have exception. He is a tough, hard-nosed guy, but he doesn't have that difference maker speed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But you never know. He'll help him. So.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be pleased with bringing him in from time to time, having a different feel for the offense.
Yeah, and that's it. Right now, if you look at we got to talk about the Ravens. The first time in 24 games they lost
preseason game.
Yeah, by 1 point to Washington. Now everybody has Washington going to the Super Bowl.
They saying Howell was a great quarterback. He hit 200-some yards. So
yeah, he is a good quarterback, but you got to remember, this is what I'm talking about. You got to remember about preseason. is that Hal wasn't playing against Baltimore's first string defense. He was playing against their second and third because they kept him in the game.
And another thing too, you
NFL
talking about
analyst, but
Huh?
Mac done called you NFL analyst.
Oh, well, I'm pretty good at it. No, but this preseason is 30%.
Yeah.
30%. But you talking about when the season starts, it's going from 30% to 100%. It's just like night and day. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. And then we'll find out what Bieniemy's effect is on that offense.
Yeah,
they did lose Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I saw that.
Toe. He hurt his toe, and they don't know.
Kool-Aid, you're a Kool-Aid drinker.
I'm leaving.
And you know what? He's a blue Kool-Aid drinker at that. Blue.
I am leaving.
That's good. That's good. I like that Kool-Aid drinker.
I can't believe he said that.
That's a good nickname for you.
Well, I'm sitting out for more pay. I was going to let everything go, but I'm going to have a bigger contract now since I got to buy more Kool-Aid.
Hey, do you put lemon in your Kool-Aid?
Yes.
Yeah, I bought some lemons today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I can send you over a couple of lemons, put in that Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid drinker. I can't help it. The Giants have struggled against that. You know that.
Here we go again.
I'm just saying, it's fact.
That game gonna be so good. I'm just gonna be sitting there just licking my chops.
There he goes. I like that. Although DeMarcus Ware today found out that he was going to be in the Ring of Honor, which is unusual. He'll be the only player in history of the Cowboys that didn't win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys that's in the Ring of Honor.
That's interesting.
And he said that, and it's interesting because Jerry, I don't know what he's doing. He said that Romo and Jason Witten is going to be in it too, and they didn't win a Super Bowl. He does, that's pretty interesting. And still, Jimmy Johnson is not in.
Jerry getting soft, man. He getting soft.
He must. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna ask him about that.
Yeah, ask him about it, Jim.
But everybody in there, even more Wares won a Super Bowl. He won it with the Broncos.
So, Jim, when you want me to go to the game with you? When you want me to go to the game
We're
with you?
going to the Giants game, me and you.
Okay.
I already got that.
I'm wearing my Giants shirt. Okay, well,
you wear it?
I know I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it. Yeah, I'm gonna wear it.
But hey, if you get beat up, I ain't helping you.
Man, you know what?
I might jump in.
That's the week I'm gonna lift. I'm gonna be worked out. And if anybody say something to me, I'm gonna bust them upside their head.
Yeah. Our producer's so excited because he's going to the Giants game tomorrow, or not tomorrow.
Friday. It's Friday, right?
Is it? I think it's Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, let's see. They play. Yeah, I think they do play Saturday. Yeah, the Giants Jets game.
Yeah, and he's going with a avid Jets fan, so this should be interesting. But he's going with the best person, really, his wife Linda, and she's a Vikings fan, but she's just putting up with him.
But she just says she's a Giant fan too, though.
Yeah,
she's
not a Giants fan.
She's a heavy Giant believer fan. That's why I know.
He just does that to keep peace in the house. He knows he's a Vikings fan. Backstage, they're probably arguing now. Do you really do that? Do you really do that to keep peace in the house? You're a Giants fan too. And she's, yeah, I'm a Giants fan. Rolling her eyes.
Go Giants, big blue, baby.
Little blue, yep. There's some things going on too. Jonathan Taylor, running back. But here's
is he asking for a trade or what? What's going on?
He's asking for it, and there's supposedly 2 teams that have made an offer. But here's my problem with the whole thing, and maybe you can explain it to me.
You need a marriage counselor.
Maybe you can explain this to me. Jonathan Taylor was asking for it. He has not practiced this season yet because of an ankle injury. Jim Irsay said they weren't going to pay him anything else. But they want multiple draft picks to trade him. So I don't understand this. Here's a guy that has not practiced. He's been rehabbing an ankle injury, and they say he has some back issues. And now you want to trade him for multiple picks? And they were asking with the Cowboys, and Jerry said, no, we'll stick with what we got. And this is, I'd be scared as heck to have him, because can he pass the physical?
Exactly, and he probably, well, I think he just maybe said something about the ankle injury just to try to go ahead and get his contract renegotiated. And
I think that's what it was.
I think that's what he's doing, but it don't take long to get that ankle back, up to 100%.
Yeah, it's just a weird situation.
And plus, you're coming out of the off season. You ain't like you've been playing games already.
That's true.
I'm taking that just maybe a excuse so he can maybe not go back, or he just want to get traded or move on.
Mm-hmm. So I just was curious about that, because I don't know what his alternative motive or the Colts. Why are you going to trade this guy? Who's going to take him? I'd be scared as heck to take him for multiple picks.
But somebody get 1,800 yards. Man,
I agree with you there, but how healthy is he?
I think this guy is healthy. I just think he just saying ankle injury because maybe he might have sprung his ankle or something like that. But I think he's fine.
Yeah,
I think he's ready to go.
And a couple other things. Russell Wilson hasn't looked very impressive this preseason.
Russell Wilson hadn't looked good since he left Seattle.
Yeah.
So.
Man, I would be nervous a little bit. And
that might be a problem, man.
He said he doesn't feel pressure, but he doesn't run from it. He said, I look forward to it. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens, because Peyton will bench him quick.
Oh, yeah. He don't have no patience. He definitely – it's all about winning with him. It's what they be done for me lately. It's just like he going to find out whether or not he going to be ready to play.
Yeah. And then C.J. Stroud is going to start the Texans' final preseason game. But here's my question to you.
He hadn't looked good to me.
Yeah, he has struggled. But name the last Ohio State quarterback that's had a lot of success in the NFL.
Well, nobody but Fields right now.
Well, Justin Fields hasn't really had a lot of success. He's a phenomenal athlete, and I think he is. But he hasn't had a lot of team success, I should say.
And I think too his team wasn't strong enough to win a whole lot of games, and now I think they're in a little bit more better situation to be more competitive, be more. So,
I like Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is a real deal. I'm telling you.
But he hasn't had a lot of success in there. And then you got Stroud, and I mean, there hasn't been a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But then you could say, really,
they've been good college quarterbacks, but they haven't played that well.
Behind that is because of the offensive lines were really good for the Alabamas, the Ohio States, and teams like that. So, and Georgia now, because they had they have number one draft picks, and all those teams have number one draft picks in the offensive line.
Yeah.
So it gives them a little bit of an advantage in college.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just the question I had.
Yeah, they quarterbacks hadn't had a whole lot of success, but I just think it just seemed like there's something missing with them.
Mm-hmm. So I was just there, and then Jonathan Taylor has till next Tuesday to get traded. And like I said, there's only two teams that I don't know. Supposedly one is Miami.
Miami?
Yeah. And I don't know.
Miami get Jonathan Taylor, man. I'm going to have to put Miami in my hat to go to the Super Bowl.
You think that?
I'll be honest with you.
Now, there was a big little bit of a brouhaha with Tua and Ryan Clark about Ryan Clark said that Tua didn't work hard this year, this offseason. And Tua's told him to keep his name out of his mouth.
Well, Ryan Clark, man, a former player usually don't say a whole lot, but it's just that sometimes you can piss people off, and if you don't know whether or not they've been working hard in all season, then you shouldn't be saying things that you don't really know about.
Well, what's his name? Slim Shady,
Mm-hmm.
LaShawn McCoy, is it?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who pees people off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he always says something crazy. And then this happened. This is what happens with it. You got to be careful because the receiver from Buffalo, Steven Smith, said that he wanted his sources told him he wanted to get out of there.
What?
And he had to say, no, that's not true. He said, I love it in Buffalo. I'm part of the Bills Mafia and stuff in there.
Well, sometimes rumors get to spreading, so that might have been just a rumor.
Yeah. But Art Streeter, he really didn't make it. He was too busy gambling on games, Rick.
Yeah.
But he was probably, he was a high draft pick who struggled because he was in Indianapolis, of all places.
Yeah, he's from Ohio State. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But not very many, Rick. Not very many have had success in the NFL. And you can look at a lot of teams, Alabama.
But I think Justin Fields is going to be the first one that really had the most success out of Ohio State.
I think there's a possibility. Alabama's had some that have been good quarterbacks. Maybe not, Joe Namath was the best one still. But, Kenny Stabler was a tremendous quarterback.
The snake, baby.
Snake, yeah. It was an honor to sack him.
So who was your first sack against?
It was against Kansas City, and it wasn't named Montana. And, God, I can't remember his name. But it was against Kansas City.
Okay.
And so that was my first sack in the NFL. Yeah, so, but it's getting exciting, and it's getting kind of where the season is coming close, and you're starting to see there's going to be some surprises now.
Every
year there is some team.
Always a surprise.
Some teams
the quarterback was Bill Kennedy.
No, it wasn't Bill Kennedy.
I thought it was Bill Kennedy.
No, it was somebody else. It wasn't Kenny, I don't think. In 1980, it would have been 83.
Okay. John. Oh no, that was the coach.
Because they had Todd Blackledge, but he didn't play.
Yeah, Todd Blackledge was in our draft class.
Yeah, he was in our draft class, but he didn't play that year. It might have been Bill Kennedy. It might have been.
Yeah, that's what it was, Bill Kennedy.
Yeah.
He's the quarterback in 84.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things, even though the season, I didn't even know that Christian Wilkinson was holding out for the Miami.
I didn't know either. Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and then.
But you know what? Miami Dolphins look pretty good this weekend.
Yeah, they do. But I think there's not losing Jalen Ramsey is going to hurt him. Losing
yeah.
And having Eli Apple as the guy that's taking his place.
So Ramsey, what he injured?
He had didn't he have a knee injury?
Okay, I didn't know. I don't know which one it was.
He's out until the latter part of the season.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to hurt him. They can score some offense.
What, he 32, 33, something like that?
I don't think he is that old. I think he's in his early 30s or late 20s.
Wow. No, he's been around for a while.
Yeah. And then they also, Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs is saying that he's not coming back until the 8th game, which means that he has to come back the week of the 8th game. Tarkenton, yes, Rick. Tarkenton retired. I played against the guy from Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jalen Ramsey. He's 20.
Tommy Kramer, Brett Favre, and Randall Cunningham as the quarterbacks, Rick. We didn't play Minnesota a lot, Rick. And in 15 years, we played them later on as we got really good, but for the most part, we didn't.
Jalen Ramsey is 28.
Okay. I would agree, Rick. I would agree, Jack. I would agree because Devontae Adams embarrassed him. How are you doing today, Jack?
Hey, Jack.
Jack, your buddy Rick's here, and he gave you a compliment. Jack's a big Jets fan. Jets and the Giants.
Jets gonna get their hat handed to them this weekend.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
We're gonna pull out these jerseys. We're gonna pull out these jerseys right here on there. We're gonna put that over that green. Cover that green up.
Gang green.
Yeah. He's excited about the Jets. I'm happy for you. You got a lot to cheer for this year. I'm excited for the Jets to see what's going to happen.
Too. I'm happy because it's been, in my lifetime, the Jets have only really been outstanding one time.
Oh, he said Jack is the one who muted you.
Jack did. Mac is who muted me. Yep. Mac did.
He said gonna be payback.
Yeah. Second game of the year after Monday Night Football. Guess where the Jets go?
Cowboys. They coming down here. They coming down here to this hot state. This heat. It's heat down here, boy. I tell you
it's a different kind of heat than up in the Northeast.
I was out there running today. I was just thinking about those Jets coming down here the second game of the season. That green gonna turn to sweat. That sweat gonna melt. And guess what? Them Cowgirls gonna be like, we'll see what happens. I ain't gonna say we're gonna win.
After we take care of the little Giants.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens, though. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh, I think this is oh man, the most muted member of the NFL Big Football Show. Oh my goodness.
Jack be talking about flag football. That's probably why.
Oh my goodness. Boy.
Now, Jack knows his stuff, though. You got to give him he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff.
He does. They won't be 6 or 11 or 7, 10, Jack. I'm telling you. Pags doesn't even know if he's going or coming. He's so used to being in second place.
Hey, if they be 6, if they be 6 and 11 or 7 and 10, they're gonna fire the coach mid-season.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it. McCartney fighting for his job, but Jamie Paganelli, he's used to being in second place. Philly, where were they? They got to the Champion World Series, second place. Philadelphia Eagles, second place. I got more rings than the Eagles have. So take that.
You're wrong for that. You are wrong for that.
But it's gonna be
good. I had to take a sip on that.
It's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good year. Like I said, there's gonna be some teams that nobody's gonna expect.
Yeah.
A lot of guys were mentioning Seattle is there. I think Seattle is good offensively, but they got some issues.
I'm still gonna say the Chargers gonna surprise some people. I'm gonna look at your bandwagon. The Atlanta Falcons, they're gonna be.
I told you.
The reason why I said Atlanta Falcons, I did my homework. Guess what?
What?
Their offensive line is one of the best offensive line
in the league. I told you. I mean, shoot.
You better look at the offensive line.
You know who their coach is?
Yeah, Smith.
Smith. And you know who Arthur Smith's son is, our father is.
Yeah, FedEx.
Yeah. So he can pay off anybody to get what he wants.
They can fly around the country in no time flat.
That's right. But I told you, watch out. I watched the Saints, and I think the Saints are good, but can they sustain? Because they're a little older team. I think the Saints will be okay with David Carr And I think it's going to come down between the Saints and the Falcons to win that division. I think Tampa Bay's got some issues. I think obviously
Tampa Bay ain't gonna be doing too much of nothing.
Carolina's going to be a struggle. I mean,
oh yeah.
Interesting team. I watched them is Tennessee. They seem to find a way. I don't know how much talent they have, but they seem to find a way. And another one you mentioned, Julio Jones. No, it's not Julio Jones, is it? DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins.
Really good preseason.
Yeah, I think the Titans don't look bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some depth.
Yeah, Rick. David Carr's having a good preseason. He looks sharp. So
sometimes all you need is just a new atmosphere. So he might be the one to be the factor that's get them over the hump.
Yeah, and the big thing with the Saints is going to be health, Rick. They're going to have to make sure they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas and those guys need to stay healthy. He hadn't played in 2 years, so
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the thing, and that's the biggest thing in the NFL now in these days. And if you do have an injury, you got to have somebody that's comparable or that can hold up the position until you get your number one back, like Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is there. Ooh, Jack. I disagree.
Thibodeau, you're gonna be like saying, "Hey, Byron and Matt said that Thibodeau's pretty good."
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty good.
Thibodeau gonna be good. He's gonna be good.
He's gonna be all right.
I'd have bet Jack $50 that Thibodeau gonna get a sack the first game of the year against the Cowboys.
Ooh, I don't think that's gonna happen. Because this is the first year.
Who that right tackle for
Byron Smith?
He the right tackle?
Yeah, right tackle, but he plays left.
I know.
I mean, Thibodeau's right end, so the left tackle, he go against the left tackle. He's a left. He's a right end.
I thought he was left end.
No, he's a right end.
They moved. They moved.
And that Terrence Steele is back now.
Okay, Steele's slow though. Terrence Steele, he's a little slow. He's the slowest guy on the offensive line, I think.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, baby.
You're losing it, Byron.
I'm not losing. I watch it. I've been watching the Cowboys.
I don't know how you come up with these bizarre statements.
You watch what I tell you. If you want to get a sack against the Cowboys, you're gonna go on that left side.
Hey, here's something that's going to make you really mad.
What you mean?
You know, Bill Barnwell works for ESPN, and he says predicting 4 teams likely to decline in the 2023 season.
What 4 teams did he say?
And I didn't say this, Rick. His first team is the Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he said they were 13-4 last year, and they should lose 3 more games this year. So they're gonna
lose more than 3 more games because Devin Cook took him out of the cellar.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm just telling you. So Rick, don't get mad at me. And then number 2 is the New York Football Giants. And
what you mean by that?
They don't think they're going to have I'm not rumor. It's on ESPN.
I think the Giants going to be okay because they
were 9-7-1 last year, and they think they're going to lose 6 more games, which I don't agree with.
No, they'll win 10 games. They'll win 10 games this year.
I'm just telling you. And
okay.
Then the other team is the Philadelphia Eagles. The one thing, and this is my argument, nobody agrees with me, but I've been in this situation. Philadelphia is going to have to stay healthy, and things are going to have to – A.J. Brown, he's had knee injuries. So you don't know, but I hope he doesn't. But Philadelphia is going to have tremendous help to do what they did last year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're the most talented team.
Yeah,
So.
I agree with that. I think Philadelphia probably win 11 or 12 games, though.
Yeah, I agree. And then the last one is Pittsburgh Steelers, but they've been saying this forever. And Mike Tomlin
never had a losing season.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get the 9 or 10 games. So you might well just put it on there. 9 or 10 for the Steelers.
Yeah. So yeah. Now
you did say Cleveland Brown might have a chance. Did you say that?
No, I didn't. I think Deshaun Watson's gonna have a better year.
Okay.
But I think Cleveland will be better than they were last year. But I think that's one of the toughest divisions in professional football.
The Vikings.
I didn't do it.
The Vikings gonna be. Hey, if Green Bay might beat the Vikings,
that's a possibility.
I know.
I like Green Bay too. I'm pulling for Jordan Love. I'm pulling for him. So,
but you know what? People don't realize this. It's hard to win back-to-back seasons in the NFL.
That's my point, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. It is really hard to win. That's why nobody has won the NFC East twice since 2000.
Back-to-back. So that means the Eagles might have a little stumbling block somewhere.
Exactly. And the last team to do it was the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, they did what, 03, 04 or something like that?
It was 2003, 2004. So
yeah.
Imagine that. So I'm not saying that everybody thinks I'm getting on. I think every team in the NFC East is better.
Yeah.
I think the Giants are better. I think the Cowboys are better. I think the Eagles are better. And I think here we go.
Yeah, North team would be 9 and 8, 8 and 9. I don't think
so.
Who is that C. Marie? I don't know.
I know it is.
Now the NFC, the winners of that division will probably win at least 11 games. At least 11.
Yeah, the team I think is a little bit overrated, and you're gonna probably disagree with me, is Detroit. Because Detroit still has some holes.
They still have a lot of holes.
And I think Green Bay is a better team than them. I think Detroit has talent now, but I don't think they, and also Detroit's quarterback is pretty good. He's better than people ever gave him credit for. But
oh yeah,
some people are gonna miss some games. Jack, they didn't shut me down, buddy. I had 4.5. Shoot, I lived off the Eagles. I love going to play the Eagles.
You was eating a lot of bird.
Yeah, I'm a chicken hawk, Jack. I love chicken. So Eagles was my chicken for the day.
You like the parts. You like Phil Sims too, I think.
Yeah.
Look at
Jack. Google how many times that I sacked Randall Cunningham. I never sacked Jaworski. Most of the time I played it.
But Ryan targeted you.
He did target me. He had somebody.
Jack been doing his homework too.
Yeah, Jack is sharp now. Don't let him fool you. Jack is sharp. He writes great articles. You need to read his articles on the boxing matches.
Yeah, I got Muhammad Ali back there too. So
yeah.
He don't know that I can box. I used to beat up everybody in my neighborhood.
I can see you running home right now.
I was a bully.
Oh yeah. I never was a bully.
I whooped a boy. I said, your mom and them should have whooped you. I'm going to take my belt off, and I whooped him all the way home.
Oh,
and then I got to school. I did. And when I got to school the next day, the principal would say, Byron, come on in here. And he tore my butt up.
See?
But
that's what bullies get.
But I beat Marcus. I tore Marcus butt up with that belt. I tell you that. I gave him a whooping that he needed.
Oh my goodness. You're just a mean guy.
Bully Byron.
Oh my goodness.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen this weekend with the Giants and the Jets.
Well, it doesn't matter. Oh, with the Giants and the Jets. I can't wait either. You know,
I just want to see what the
I already
team.
I already got the game recorded.
You know what?
Because I know we're going to see
I want to watch real close what happened in the first 2 quarters. I would say the first 15 and the first 40 minutes of the game. Mm-hmm. First quarter and the second, maybe half of the second quarter. I want to see what happened. I want to see what it looked like.
Mm-hmm. I was off a thing a little bit, looking at the Little League World Series. Mm-hmm. Tennessee has a guy named Tyrone McKenzie Jr. and his father. We coached together at Colorado. He coached at the Rams when they won the Super Bowl. He coached at Minnesota.
What position did he coach?
He was a linebacker coach.
Okay.
And he coached in Miami last year. And his son is playing in the Little League World Series. They're getting beat 5-3 right now in the top of the 6th. So they're probably done. So I was looking at that real quick.
Yeah, it's hard to come back in them little games. They got some skilled players out there.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So, but hey, it is getting close to that time. It is getting close.
Well, I'm so glad this is the last.
I gotta go. I gotta go get in a cold water plunge because you guys have been beating me up today. Y'all
at least you didn't. Hey, Jim, look at it like this. You didn't get muted.
That's because, well, I'm not saying anything because the person that controls the mute button can still mute me.
Oh so. Man, I ain't want to do that to you, Jim. I believe you like just trying to say some mean things.
I didn't say anything mean. I have not said anything mean. I even complimented a Giant, Thibodeau.
Yeah, that's good. The good thing about it, defensive players.
Sterling Sharp.
Defensive players. That's the good thing about it, Jim. You do that. Good players.
And I played with Sterling's dad. Was crazy about his dad. Now his dad was a good man.
Okay.
We played together at the Cowboys. Good man. So, but I think the Giants are going to be pretty. I don't agree with what they said on ESPN about the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be a good team.
Most of those guys on ESPN, it's good to see. You know what, Jim? It's good to hear them say that because most of the time they are wrong on ESPN when they're trying to predict stuff. So that's good that they said that.
Oh, I thought we were going. I thought we kind of got out quick today. But hey, I don't have anything else. You got anything else? You got any problems?
Who?
You.
No, I'm just getting ready for my golf tournament.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't make it because I already had prior things that were going on.
What you got?
I got to go get my teeth cleaned, and I got a business meeting.
September?
Yeah, it's August. When's your golf tournament? I thought it was August.
September 25th. No.
September 20th. I think I can make that.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah, I thought it was August 20th.
No, you're going to be down in the dumps because the Cowboys will be probably 0-2, something like that.
It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time.
No, it's September. It's September. End of September.
I got too many haters here. It's only me and Rick, and we're dodging and throwing punches and trying to make Vikings. Everybody's hating on the Vikings and the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's two good teams to hate on.
Huh?
Two good teams to hate on.
Yeah, because they're so good, and they both want to be successful. And we'll be watching the Jets.
Hey, I talked to two sponsors. It's a car dealership. Infinity want to talk to you, and then we're gonna hair loss for men. They said they're gonna tap us, get us the check.
There's no hope for me. I'm too far gone.
Well, put on a wig. Put on a wig.
I might have to put on a wig. That's the only thing I can do. But it's time to go. It's been a great time. And if I come out in afro, don't believe it's not my hair. It's a wig.
Absolutely. Week number 3, preseason game, baby. Getting close to the regular season.
Jets and Giants this week. And they play in the season, too. So we'll see.
Have a good